Hello, friends. So I'm getting really crazy here, right? This morning, because you know what? We are artists and that's what we do, right? So I'm playing with number one. I had purchased this. It's Fabriano. I never spend this much on my paper, so I hear everybody talk about it, and I was like, I'm going to try it. We'll see. I'll let you know. To be quite honest, I doubt I'll use this for my everyday painting. It's just too expensive. And then I'm going to use my number 8 brush, but I'll link below a Princeton Velvet Touch number 8 because you know I love my Velvet Touch Princetons. You can sign up for my brushes. I think they might open them up to release them for just a short while. But anyways, but what I'm going to do, so I lived out at the beach and we used to get the most beautiful sunsets, especially in the winter. And a lot of times they'd be like this beautiful pink color. So I used to call them cotton candy clouds because they were so beautiful. So I've got my palette here. I'll just be using, you know, my favorite, Paul Rubens My Lane. So I'm going to give them a spritz. I already put quite a bit in my palette here, so you'll see me use that. Not going to use that palette. Move my tea out of the way. My mom calls this my weed tea. I've got chrysanthemum buds in there. I've got some cordyceps mushrooms for collagen, and I've got my fun little Japanese juju plum. So in case you see that and are wondering what in the heck is Debbie drinking, that's what I'm drinking. And I've got it in my little cup. Darling, I am an artist. That always gets me inspired in the morning. So what we're going to do first is let's do a little color swatch because I want to play with some different colors here. Now just use whatever colors you want to use. If you want to just stick with your you know, your pinks that you have in your My Lane palette, My Lane palette, just do that. But I'm going to play with a couple different things. Okay. Let me set my tea, my weed tea, out of the way. And I've got my handy dandy little swatch thing here. You guys told me about this. I'll link that below if you want it too. It's pretty handy. And then let's just swatch out some colors here, see how they go. So again, use whatever colors you want. These cotton candy clouds that I was referring to, they truly looked like cotton candy. So of course I'm going to use that pink, just in a very light fashion here. Let me scoot this over so you can kind of see that a little bit better. So I've got some pink over here. And I'm going to water it down a bit. So I'll probably use that color there. So let's go ahead and swatch that out. Ah, isn't that just gorgeous, you guys? Like, do you get as excited about colors as I do? It truly just, it brings me so much joy. There we go. So we've got that pink. That's the rose red. Of course, if you follow me, you know that's my favorite color. And then let's go for, I want to keep this kind of not too crazy. So I might get like a purpley color. I might use some of that, you know, we love our turkey blue. But that might be, I really want to keep this kind of dreamy and pastel-y. So that's the turkey blue. But I think what I might end up using is maybe some of our light sky blue, because I don't know why lately, I didn't use this for a while, and lately I've been really into it. It's so pretty. And I've been mostly using it kind of as in combination with other colors, not so much on its own, because as you can see, it's quite transparent and light, but look how beautiful. So I think I'll use those. Then I'm just going to swatch this color out. Bear with me. Now, if you don't have this color, I'm going to show you in a second here. Don't worry about it. Like, use your colors. But I've got this, they call it flesh tones, but I like it kind of as like neutrals. And I want to see what this color might look like. This may not work, you guys, but that's why I swatch them out. So they're referring to this. This is Phoenix, by the way. Peach. Again, if you don't have this, just use a light yellow or something like that. I wanted to play a bit, though. So I don't know. It has a little bit of a pinkish hue to it. So that could be kind of fun, I think, as I'm building the layers on my clouds. I might even use this color, light apricot, maybe put a little. So I'm just, like I said, I'm going to throw some of these colors in here. And you know, choose some of the colors. So that's a little warmer. It's got a little bit more towards a yellowy side, a yellow warm side. So this one's a little pinker, this one's a little yellow, which I think could work. All right, so I've got that here. Let's see here. So, and by the way, I'm going to have a landscape coming up in my subscription box. So stay tuned for that if you got my subscription box. I think you're really going to love them. Pardon me. I try to get my herbal tea in every morning. I'm going to scoot that over. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be making some clouds. Here's some other clouds. This was actually something I'm going to have in my subscription box, but I've been playing with those a lot. So what I'm going to do first is just, by the way, this is 140 pound cold press. I will link this paper down below, but I mean, if you can afford it, go for it. I think the Artisto and Meeden for sure is just as good, just my humble opinion. And I've got my 2 containers of water, one to wash, one to rinse. So I got that there. Okay, let's go in. I think what I'll do is use my big old bad boy brush here because I want to water this down since it's clouds. There we go. Okay. So I've got that pretty watered down. And I'm going to keep some sky at the top, but I'm basically going to keep this all within those pink colors. So funny. This, oh, you can't even see it. This big old bad boy brush is so big that it causes my brush rest to kind of fall down. How funny. Okay. So I'm going to start at the top with some pinks and maybe some of those, that peachy color. So I've got that pink in my palette here, and I'm using about, let me move this out of the way. Let me see if I can get my palette in there for you so you can kind of see how I'm mixing this. Pardon my hand there. Okay. So I've got that pink in here, and it's pretty watered down. So this is probably 80% water, 20% pigment. And I'm just going to go in and start laying that down. We're created just like a little gradiated wash here. There we go. You can even lift your paper up. Might even do that. And I want it to be, you know, a little distinctive. So between where I'm going to start my clouds and where just the sky is above it. Ooh, yeah, I think I kind of like that. I want the sky above to be a little deeper in color. These, if you've lived at the beach, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. The winter sunsets were just incredible. And then I'll drag it down, although this is going to be my cloud, so I'm not real worried about that. A little bit more in there. Now let's add in just a touch of that peach, that peachy color. But I'm going to pretty much use that in my clouds. Isn't that a beautiful gradiated wash? So let me grab some of that peach and just throw in a little bit of that here and there. I'm just taking that directly. Ooh, yeah, see how pretty that is? I like that. And I'm gonna use more of that in my clouds, I think. So just loading the side of my brush. It's quite a light color, but it's beautiful. So, I don't know, kind of gives it a fun little touch. Maybe some of the apricot. Yeah, I like that. A little bit more of that. Pink is so intense and beautiful and vibrant that it doesn't let the peach and apricot show up too much, but I think that's perfect. Okay. So I'm going to tilt my paper a bit and just get that to run downwards, maybe sideways. But I really want to keep that as just the sky, like that. So see, I mean, I feel like this paper, to be honest, buckles a little bit more than my Meeden, and they're both blocks, which means they're all glued on the sides. But I mean, I get quite a bit of buckling with this paper. So for the cost, I don't know, guys. That's just, like I said, that's just my humble opinion. You may have a different experience. I'm going to take a drink, but I'm also going to grab a little tissue that I'm going to create some little bumpy, round, fluffy, bubbly clouds with. So, kind of use my finger here and start blotting out some clouds. But I want them to have little round shapes, almost like little candy or something. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. There we go. If I can make like a round shape. There we go. So see, I like having the dark color there. I think that makes a big difference. So something like that. This is just the start. We're going to go in there and darken some of that up. And I'm just using the tip of my finger to kind of make little bubble type shapes, because I want them to be kind of like, what, little jelly beans or something. Okay, now we got that out. What I'm going to do now is go in with some more of that pink, a little bit darker in hue, and I'm just going to start dabbing in here and there some little cloud-like shapes using that pink. I'm actually kind of following what's there. I know it looks really choppy right now, but hold on, because we're gonna make it a lot better. I'm gonna go in, there we go. Okay, let's go in a little bit at the top here. So I'm kind of following the shape right now that the watercolor actually created, which is so great about watercolors. A lot of times I will do this. Like, I just follow what's there. So we have all these fun, bumpy little clouds. Now I'm going to take my brush and just kind of soften out that edge, because for the most part with my clouds, I like a soft kind of blurry edge. So I'm just tapping off. I'm not getting too picky here, guys. I'm just playing. And I keep tapping off my brush, because if you're picking up, actually just got it a little bit damp there. If you're picking up paint, which I am when I'm going through there, you will just, when you go to soften the next edge, you're just gonna put more paint in there. So I go through there, just dampen my brush. And this is how I've pretty much always done my clouds. You could even use more tissue. I'll do that in a second. But I like a few hard edges. I think that's kind of cool. But for the most part, I'm softening everything. There we go. Let's go in here. So yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not obviously affiliated with any paper, but I really thought this Fabriano was going to be so amazing. And I don't know, I mean, I just felt like it warped a lot, which I just was kind of surprised. So we've got our first layer there. Now again, you can always use a tissue to go back in there and kind of, if you want to soften some of those hard spaces, you can always do that, because I'm going to do layers here. So if you really want it to look more like puffy and like cotton candy, you can definitely go in and blot some of those areas like that. Just using, because like right here, I feel like I kind of wanted more white there. So look at that. Isn't that fun? Now I'm going to go in and do yet another layer. And I might even end up going in with some of that pink. I don't know. Let's see. Some of the peachy color. So here's some more pink. I'm just going to go in one more time. And it's still wet, which I like. And just, you know, follow your intuition. Like, where do you feel like you want to add a little bit more? That's always when I do my best work, is when I'm just kind of going, what do I feel here? Where do I feel I want to add a little more color? So we've got some more there, maybe a little bit more up here. And now rinse my brush completely, wash and rinse it. And it's just barely damp. And now I go in with the same kind of process. Just softening that line with barely a damp brush, or I refer to it as a thirsty brush. And when I notice I'm leaving paint on the paper, I just go in and rinse my brush. There we go. And I don't know, stuff like this is really relaxing for me. I don't know about you, but this type of painting is just, I love it. There we go. I mean, you could do little purple clouds. Like, make it yours. What kind of clouds do you like? And again, I'm kind of following what the watercolors naturally did, kind of some of the blooms and things, and just kind of going with that. So I'm going to, let's just see. So I could use my brush there, but let's see what happens. I wish I had some of the photos of those beautiful, I do somewhere, winter clouds. Ooh, I like that one actually, so I don't want to do too much there. The winter clouds we used to get, oh my gosh, they were so gorgeous. The sunsets at night. So that's a lot of clouds there. Now for the pièce de la résistance, Sorry to all my French viewers. I know my French accent is absolutely horrible. I took French for 2 years, but it's just such a beautiful language. Okay, so I didn't even get any of that blue in there, but that's fine. I feel like I just want to add just a touch more darker pink to maybe some of this. And again, I'm following what the watercolors kind of naturally did here. And now I'll soften it again. Not too much water. There we go, just little round swirls. One more time here. I'll see at the time I post this if I could maybe find a little snapshot of the beautiful clouds at the beach. It was stunning. Like sometimes I was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty magical. Okay, so that's good. Now what I want to do is right up in here, sometimes the moon would just look golden. So can any of you guess what I'm going to pull out right now? And this would be pretty with the silver series as well, the mirror series. And if you don't have this, go with the pink moon, go with the purple moon, like whatever color you want. Should have softened this up first. I don't want to use the tip of my brush. I'm trying to use the side of my brush. And now I'm going to go in and let's just make, is this dry? Gold doesn't spread a lot, but I think I'll put the moon right here. Oh, look at that, you guys. Like, how magical is that? And you know what? Maybe you want to do just a little sliver of a moon. So I'm going to put my little moon there. And now what I'm going to do is let's just do some little stars or even dots. Like that. A little bit more water. This is the Brilliant Gold, by the way, MAB. You can do it 2 different ways. I get the whole set. Oops, this is a brand new one. And it comes with all of them, but you can also order the Brilliant Gold all on its own. Look how pretty this is. Oh my gosh, you guys. This just takes me back to where I would sit out at night and watch this. Look how pretty. What I might do here is let's just take my tiny brush. Where is it? I have a tiny pink brush, but it's not right here. So I'm going to use the Craftimo. This came with the bloom set, which I love. It's a 2. And let's just go in and make some of those stars. Like, I don't know if you can see this. Look at that. Ah, so pretty. This just brings back so many memories. I'm just putting little lines there to look like little twinkle stars. You could even splatter on here. All right, so there we go. Now I'm gonna pull the tape off, but really, whenever you're using tape and pulling it off, it's much better to let it dry first. But for sake of time here, I could give it a quick shot. Let's see, it's pretty dry. Yeah, I need a new heat gun. I dropped my gun one too many times and it's making that horrible noise. So sorry, I apologize. Okay, that's it because it's just too annoying. Okay, so I also, now you're not going to see it as much on the bottom because I didn't carry that pink down, but you do see it a bit. Let's keep going. This is my favorite part. Look at that beautiful clean line. Isn't this just look like cotton candy? Let's keep going. Move my big old bad boy brush out of the way. There we go. And I'll hold it up so you can see. There you go. So let me hold it up. Look at how fun. Isn't that a fun one? And that is all with one color. So I hope you'll play with this too. Maybe, you know, I used pink because that's my favorite color, but use your own colors. You could even hide part of the moon behind one of the clouds. You could use the Mirror series, which is another beautiful set. You see me use a lot. That would be really pretty as well. Use purples, whatever color you want. Take creative license. And I would love, we developed Patreon so that you could share your pictures over there. Share your photos over there because we can't do that here on YouTube. And we get to chit chat a little. So I hope you'll give this a try. And thank you, everyone, truly from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me, your donations there on Patreon. And I hope I'm giving you a few things there that are supportive for you too. But I just love you being here on YouTube with me. It means so much to me, and your support and having fun. I love it. So just a reminder, darling, that like this says, I am an artist. I hope you say that to yourself every day. And meanwhile, keep painting, keep playing, and I'll be right here. Love you all.